Welcome back, Baker Nation. This is Hannah Albright reporting for Baker Athletics. The Baker Wildcats unfortunately fell to Grandview last weekend, but they are fired up and ready to take on Culver-Stockton this weekend. Last year, the Wildcats shut out Culver-Stockton 67-7, so this is definitely a game you don't want to miss. Today we'll be interviewing senior linebacker Kegan Schumann, and he leads the defense with 22 tackles so far this season. Last weekend we fell short to Grandview. Now, what is kind of the vibe of the team right now?
So it was definitely a big devastating loss to us, but we showed up Sunday. We knew that wasn't us, that wasn't our goals. Really, we just want to get back on track, and we're looking forward to redeeming ourselves this week.
So you lead the team in tackles with 22 so far this season. What has been your key to success here?
Well, we spent a lot of time in the off season working on everything, but contribute quite a bit to the defense. But I don't really look at it as like a one single thing, so we're looking forward to playing next week.
So the team is ranked number 7 nationally in pass defense per game. How is this team clicking so well, and what is it that is making this team work so well?
Well, honestly, it's all contributed to our D coordinator, Coach Thorne. He spent a lot of time in the film room, so he's kind of a perfectionist. And so if he's spending that much time in it, we can. I don't know. We want to play for him, and
right.
So
for sure. So last year we beat Culver-Stockton 67-7, complete shutout. What do we need to do this weekend in order to make that happen again?
But honestly, we just need a team booster. It was kind of a devastating loss for us last week, so we definitely want to bring that back and beat them that bad this week.
Sure.
But honestly, we're just working against ourselves right now.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to watching you this weekend, Kegan, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Baker is set to take on Culver-Stockton inside Lissa Stadium at 1 p.m., and it is family weekend here for the Wildcats. Here's Sportscaster Tom Hedrick with Coach Grossner.
Anybody who's a Baker football fan knows Saturday, Baker had 9 turnovers, 2 pick sixes, a couple of fumbles, 7 picks. Now, is that problem mental or physical?
A little of both. It's something you look back on, and I think it's one of those unique days that just happened and kind of steamrolled on us. 2 young quarterbacks. Brandon Mueller struggled the most. He was in there, but once that starts going down the hill, how quickly you can get it back determines if you have a chance to win the game. We didn't get it back. It just continued. We had a 10-point lead. I probably made a mistake coaching-wise going for, the onside kick. I'll take blame for that, but we had executed it well in practice. So I had great faith that we would do it in the game, and we didn't. But after that point, you've got to, respond. And we didn't. We let it continue to go downhill, and then in the end, you're not going to beat anybody turning the ball over 9 times.
Brandon this week, has he had a good practice?
He's had a good week of practice, so has Marco.
Right.
And you expect that. They're young, they're sophomores. Hopefully they've learned to protect the football. It's crucial in football, in winning games. Turnover margin to me is the biggest stat, predictor of the outcome of the game, and 9 in one game. I don't know if we had 9 in the whole year last year.
Right.
So they've got, they've gotten the message, and I don't want to pull the reins back. Both kids can go make plays for you, so you just got to reestablish their confidence in their ability to move the football and get the ball to our playmakers.
The other thing is you've got to establish that run game, 22 yards rushing, and yet you've got the 3rd leading rusher in the country.
Yeah, I think that's as glaring stat as the turnover in that game. Our offensive line is big enough and capable. So the challenge is for them to establish the holes. We're going to feed the ball to JD and Cornell. And, I think we got away from that a little bit as the game went. But we were trying to win the game.
Sure.
But still, When you have 25 carries for 22 yards, you're not doing something right up front. And we put the challenge to the O-line, and I expect them to play well.
Now Culver's better. I know you ripped them 67-7 last year with 781 yards, but they're better. Why?
Well, they're a year older. If you looked at their roster last year, they started 22 freshmen
Right.
at times. That's amazing. You know, and then they had an older transfer quarterback that they were playing after the first game last year, and they did some good things. You know, even against us last year, they had some highlights. With that being said, being a year older, you've got an offensive line that's played together for a year in 3 games, and they're going to be a good challenge for us. They're a good football team. They have confidence. They won their first 2 games. The Mid-America went up there and got them last week, but they're very capable.
Yeah, I like their quarterback. Markham threw for, well, he's averaging 7 touchdowns, 1 pick, twice he's been the offensive football player in the Heart.
Yeah, and he was a young man that played quite a bit for him last year, so he has a lot of experience, similar to our guy Marco when he went in last year and played quite a few games. So they've got a couple senior guys that have played quite a bit of football in the Heart, so, you know, and they're skill position guys. They got a big tailback, number 15 Barnes kid, and he played against us last year and went downhill at us a little bit last year, and he's about a 230-pound young man. So I really love their left tackle. He's 6'7", 300 plus, and can move. So, you know, they're going to present some problems up front for us. I like our defense. We run well, and hopefully we're up to the challenge.
Who's playing well on defense? When the coaches look at the film, who do you guys like?
I think our defensive ends as a collective group are playing real well. Our linebackers we couldn't ask for any more from those guys. Kegan Schumann, Indy Allen, John Rincon really play well together. I'm really happy for our secondary and how it's come together. You know, Ivan Hollins has been the key to that because he played corner for us last year, and then we had to move him to safety. And so we inserted Daquan Harrison at corner, and then he had the targeting penalty in the first game, so we had to go back to Ivan at corner, Clay Drouillard in at safety. So we've had some moving parts, and with that, in just 2 games, we've gained some depth and experience. So now we go back, Mikeese Adams is out this week at safety, so we're going to insert Khalid Farrakhan, who hasn't started a game, but played quite a bit in the first 2 games, and keep Ivan back, and we got Daquan back in at corner, and then, you know, Cameron Mitchell-Johnson's a young corner that can play. And the only guy I haven't mentioned is, Nate McLaurin, who's our returning All-American, and he's played steady at the 1 corner position. So from that standpoint, I feel much better in the back end. And then on the front end, we're moving some guys around. We're going to ask a couple guys maybe to move down inside and give us some minutes down there and plug some holes down in the middle. We get Don Hammers back a little healthier this week. So I feel like it's coming around, and if you look at our weights on defense, we're not that big a defense, weight-wise, but we can really run and hit.
Final thought. How much does it help you have a big crowd Saturday at Liston Stadium?
I think it'd be big. It's family weekend, and hopefully everybody's back and seeing their kids and come out. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to be a little warm, high 80s, 90. But just for us to get back on the football field after that debacle that we presented last week is something for us. It's been a long week. Our kids are excited to get back and correct the mistakes and go out and play as a group and as a team and hopefully get a win.
You'll get that.
All right.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Remember, kickoff at 1 o'clock in Liston Stadium. You may hear the game on Baker Radio, www.bakerradio.org. And of course, by always punching up on the website at Baker University Wildcats, simply go to multimedia, football, and of course, you take a look at the live action. Tom Hedrick reporting. See you at Liston Stadium.